Yes, this is the River Taff, which is still high. The water levels across South Wales are high. The rainfall is still heavy. There have been high winds. It's causing all sorts of issues out on the roads and to people's homes. They reckon up to 300 homes across South Wales have been flooded. That is why the emergency services this morning declared a major incident. There are still many emergency teams out trying to help people avoid that flooding or be rescued from it and to keep people safe out on the roads. In North Wales, a 75-year-old Brian Perry, who was reported missing in the River Conwy yesterday, they have found a body in that search. So these floods, this storm, are claiming lives and putting others at risk. And this river is still a raging torrent tonight. Across South Wales, water levels are high, rivers have burst their banks and homes are flooded, bringing misery for people who've in many cases been hit for a second time.
By the time I got back, they went from the foot to the meter, and I only took around the corner, so within 5 minutes, it went shoof, out of the meter.
What time was this?
This was at 9:05.
Paul has lived by the River Taff in Pontypridd for more than 20 years. It's the second time in 4 years her home's been underwater.
Because their belief is that because they've got flood defences in place, that the flood defences work. But as you've probably seen yourself, the flood defences don't work.
This is the desperate effort to try to stop the river water getting back into these houses. At the moment, they are winning, but the fear is the river level will rise further because the rain keeps coming down. In parts of Wales, a month's worth of rain has fallen over the last 24 hours. It's been a very busy time for the emergency services, who declared a major incident this morning when they were inundated with calls. And listen to the local council leaders' assessment of how well this rainfall and its impact were forecast.
We took the decisions ourselves to step up our resources and to have the depots open and crews in. But you know, even as bad as things were this morning, unless I've missed it, because I've been out since 5:30, and I don't know if an amber warning was issued. I certainly haven't seen it, and I'm surprised actually there wasn't a red warning, because during Storm Dennis we did see an amber warning well in advance and a red warning issued in the early hours. So I do think that'll need to be reviewed, certainly.
Some of the water from Welsh hills flows into England. This was Tenbury Wells in Worcestershire, where a wall collapsed and the river burst through. Landslides have affected a couple of roads, and coal tips are being checked to make sure they're not unstable. It's been a very difficult day for everyone here, and it's still a really nervous time for people right across the valleys. And there is huge frustration and worry for people who've been flooded time and time again. They say the flood defences that were improved after Storm Dennis 4 years ago have not worked, have not kept their homes dry. There is huge frustration and anger about how they have been hit once again, that so many rivers have burst their banks, that so many homes have been flooded. There is a risk to life, and you heard the council leader there saying he was surprised that a red warning hadn't been declared by the forecasting authorities. So it's not just people who are concerned by what they are seeing. The emergency services are stretched. They are pleading with people not to be out on the roads. There is a sense that the worst may now have passed, but it is still raining, and there is still more rainwater to come down off the hills, and as it's funneled into these valleys, it still poses a risk.
Thank you very much. Dan Johnson.